Suppose if I want to read only one character, then I'm going to make use of getCharacter function. And input values are generally taken by using this scanf function. Data type character D. So D is nothing but it is mainly used to indicate it is of type integer. Hello to all, a warm welcome to my new session on input and output with C. I am Revati from the Department of Computer Science, Vidhyaashram, First Grade College, Temple of Excellence, MYSURU. So dear student, before going to my today's session, I am going to recall the topic which I have covered in my previous session of this unit. There I started with C character set. Along with that, I have discussed tokens. So tokens are categorized into identifier, then it's also categorized into data types, constants, etc. So these are the topic I have covered in my last session of this unit. But in today's session, I'm going to deal with how I can able to read a character, how I can able to write a character, and what is formatted input. These are the topic I'm going to deal in my today's session. So at the beginning, I'm going to have reading a character. So character means what? One letter or one character. To read a character, I'm going to make use of data type called char. So here, char is capable to hold only one byte at a time. So reading a single character can be done by using the function getChar. Suppose if I want to read only one character, then I'm going to make use of getCharacter function. So this is the function which is supported by the C program, and this function is stored under string.h header file. That means if I want to use this function in my program, then I want to include string.h header file in my program. So hash include string.h. So this is the syntax I'm going to have. So first I want to define the variable name. Along with that, I'm going to call the function. What is function name? getChar. That means receive the character. Receive the character from the keyboard. Now, this is the example. So what is my data variable name? That is name, and I'm going to call the method getChar. So when I call this method, then user can able to input any one character from the keyboard. Now how I can able to write the character? So one character at a time. For that, I'm going to have the function name called putCharacter, and I'm going to specify the variable name. So another function used to write the character and one character at a time to the terminal. So what is this terminal? That is nothing but the monitor, or I can able to consider it is nothing but the file. Okay, so I can able to write one character at a time to the terminal. This is the syntax I'm going to use. Put function, and what is the argument I'm going to pass here? That is variable name. So here variable name is nothing but the variable which holds the character, and this is the input to this put function, and when I call this put function, it is going to display the output on the terminal. Now here answer, I'm going to assign y to answer. Now when I call putChar, what is my output? I'm going to get the output y. Now Formatted input and output. Till now we discussed how to read single character as well as how to write single character. To read, get care. To write, put care. But what is this formatted input? So dear student, please remember here, suppose if I want to input any data, then in C program I'm going to have this scanf. So this is the function used to read the input from the keyboard. So a formatted input refers to input data. Suppose if I want to input some data to my computer system or program, then I'm going to use formatted input. And input values are generally taken by using the scanf function. Which function I'm going to use to read the input? That is nothing but scanf. So the scanf function has a general form. So dear student, you have to remember this general form. So first I'm going to write scanf. Okay, this is function name and opening double quote and closing double quote, comma, argument 1, argument 2, argument 3 up to argument n. So here I'm going to specify the controlling string. That is nothing but which kind of data I'm going to specify here. Okay, so dear student, you have to remember this syntax. Now, inputting integer number. Suppose if I want to input integer number, then I'm going to use %d. Okay, so the simple method %d. And if I want to specify how many numbers I want to read, for example, 1, 2, 3 or 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so I want to specify how many digit I'm going to read. For that, I'll write XD. So the general format for reading input, that is integer number, is %XD. So here %D denotes the specifier for conversion follows. So here X is an integer number which specifies the width of the field. Okay, for example, here what is the width? 4. And if I want to read 4 digit, then I want to specify 4D. Data type character D. So D is nothing but it is mainly used to indicate it is of type integer. Now this is the example. So here I can able to read 3 digit. Here I can able to read 4 digit. So %D or %3D, %4D. And listen here, I won't write any comma between %3D and %4D because I don't want to separate these values. Now, this is nothing but ampersand number 1 and ampersand number 2 or sum 1 or sum 2. This is nothing but the address. Okay, address of the variable. Now, this is regarding integer number. Now, inputting real number. Suppose real number means what? That is nothing but the fractional value. In that time, I can make use of %f. That is nothing but floating point or double. Now, field specifiers are not used while representing real number. So, while representing real number, I won't write 2f or 4f. I won't specify the field length here. So, this is the general form. So, %f, then address of variable. Now, see, I'm having 3 variables. For that reason, I'm going to use 3 times %f. So, dear student, please remember here how many variables I'm going to have. That much access specifier I want to specify. Now, this is for character. So, what is character here? That is nothing but single letter or single character. Now, single character or string can be input by using character specifier. So, what is the general form? %C or %S. Okay, and I can able to specify the width. Okay, that is X. Here also I can able to specify the width, where C and S represents character and string respectively. C is nothing but character and S is nothing but string. And X represents the field width. So here X is used to represent field width, and address operators need not be specified while input string. That means, suppose if I am using string, then to read string, I don't want to specify address operator. See here, C is nothing but character and this C is nothing but string. Okay, so it is going to read 15 character, that is nothing but array of character or group of character. So it is nothing but the string, and in my address operator, I won't use any address operator. See, in string, I'm not going to use any address operator. Now, how can I format output? So, to format output, I'm going to use printf. Okay, so printf, enter the number. That means if I want to give any message to the user, where I'm going to write the message, that should be written inside the printf statement within double quote. So the most simple output statement can be produced in C language by using printf statement. So output statement, it is nothing but printf statement. It allows you to display information required to the user. So it is mainly used to display the information to the user. So the general syntax here is printf, and whatever the message I want to generate or I want to produce to the user, that must be written inside the double quote within the brace. Now, output of integer number. So, suppose if I want to output integer number, then %WD. Suppose if I want to display integer character, then %WD. There is nothing but width. Okay, so to display the output to the user, I'm going to make use of printf statement, and to read the input, I'm going to make use of scanf statement. But if I want to read only one character, that is getChar. To output one character, it is putChar. Now, I'm going to have the escape sequence. So, what is this escape sequence? There are certain time I want to change the meaning. Okay, now escape sequence are special character that is mainly used to control, to modify the format of the output. There are certain time I want to control the output format. In that time, I'm going to make use of escape sequence. That means I want to align the output. That means how I want to look my output. So for that, I'm going to have the escape sequence. So it is mainly used to modify the format of an output. Now, what are the escape sequence? I'm going to have new line character. So that is /n. So what's the meaning of new line? That means I want to get the output in the next line. In that situation, I'm going to use new line character. So when a new line is necessary in the output, then this escape sequence is used. Whenever, wherever I required any new line, in that situation, I'm going to use new line. Now, that is \n. And tab. If I want to give space between two words, in that time, I'm going to use tab, and it's going to give 8 width. So a tab is equal to 8 space. So what is the width I can able to consider here? That is 8 space. Whenever tab button is processed from the keyboard, then 8 space are left blank. So when I want to give the space between two words, blank space, in that time I'm going to use tab. So that is \T. So this escape sequence performs the functionality of tab key. Suppose if I use \T in my program, then it's going to perform the functionalities of tab key. Now I'm going to have another escape sequence, that is alert bell. That means during the execution, if I want to generate any beep sound, then I can able to. For that, I'm going to have \A. So this sequence is used to play beep, that is beep sound during execution, and carriage return. The another example for escape sequence, carriage return. So this escape sequence moves the cursor at the beginning. Suppose if I want to move the cursor beginning at the location, then I'm going to use \R. So these are the escape sequence supported by the C program. Now I'm going to have cGetS function and cPutS function. So what is this cGetS? That is get the string. So gets function enables the user to enter some character followed by the enter key. Suppose user want to enter any character followed by the enter key, then we can able to go with the get s. So all the characters are entered by the user get stored in the character array. For example, if I write Java, then this is represented or stored in the form of array. So JAVA. The null character is added at the end of the array to make it string. So a null character added at the end of the array in order to represent it as string. So the getS function allows the user to enter space separated string. For example, see, I'll write oops with Java. Okay, now suppose if I want to read such kind of statement, then I can able to make use of getS. In my getS function, I can able to consider white space also. So here getS function allows the user to enter the space. User can able to enter the space separated strings, and it returns the string entered by the user, and same output I'm going to get by using putS function. So I'm going to have the syntax character array gets character array. So getS means what? Get string. String means what? It's nothing but the array of character or group of character or collection of character. Then I'm going to have the example here. So my program starts from #include stdio.h. Then I want to read the string. So what is my string size? It is array of character. So how many character? 30. And what is my data type here? It is character. Now I'm going to display the message to the user that enter the string by using printf statement. Now I'm going to read the string value, and at the same time I'm going to display the string value. So it is string. For that reason, what is my format specifier? It is %s. And what is my variable name? That is s. Now Suppose if I want to output the string, okay, then I can make use of putS function. So this putS function is very much similar to printf. So putf is similar to printf statement, but the putS function is used to print the string on the console. So it is mainly used to print the string on the console, and which is previously read by the getS. So when I'm using getS, then it is putS, and whenever I use putS, then I must want to use getS. Now the putS function returns the integer value. So here the putS function is going to return the integer value representing the number of characters being printed on the console. So here the putS function is going to return integer value. For that reason, the return type of putS is integer, and it is going to accept string. String is nothing but array of character. Now I'm going to have the example program. So here I'm going to start with the stdio.h, string.h, and I'm going to start from the main program. So here I'm going to consider array, that is name of character, that is 50. Okay, so I want to consider the string. What is string here? String is nothing but the group of character or collection of character or array of character. So it is 50. So 50 memory locations are reserved for this name, and I'm going to read the name. Okay, after reading name, what I want to do? I want to display the name. For that, I'm going to use putS to display the red string, and getS function is used to read the string. Okay, now I'm going to return 0. So why I'm going to return 0? Because my main function return type is integer. For that reason, I'm going to return integer value 0. This is the way I can able to use getS function as well as putS function in my program. So dear student, in my today's session, I started with what is input and what is output with respect to C. Along with that, I discussed how to read single character as well as how to write single character. Along with that, I covered formatted input and formatted output. Along with that, I covered getS as well as putS function. Anyway, in my today's session, you got more information about input and output with C. But in my next session, I'm going to deal with C operators as well as expressions. Let's meet in the next session with more information about C operators as well as expressions. Until that, keep watching and keep learning. Thank you.